conditions. We have Symphony Privet out there, Glenn Kittle, and of course our Matt Scott. We were starting with him. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
This forecast, you knocked it out of the park.
Well, thank you.
I'll give it to you this time.
That's nice of you. This time.
This time.
Does that raise my batting average a little bit?
Just a little.
Just a little. Good morning to you. Yeah, you know what? This storm really did verify. We expected a lot of snow uniformly across the state. There really weren't any curveballs associated with it. The snow moved in right on time. It looks like it will be moving out on time, which is to say we're still dealing with a little bit. A foot to a foot and a half in a few parts of the state. My goodness, some of these snows, very impressive. At the very least, it was a light, fluffy snow, so if you were able to shovel it, my son actually used the leaf blower for some of it at some point yesterday and said, well, it worked. And then we ran out of gas, so you're back to shoveling, son. Cold wind chills, that's going to be the norm for not just now, but for the next few days as we look for maybe an additional coating, maybe an inch or two. Nothing of significance. Here's the satellite radar picture. We'll switch over to the live view and show you nothing of significance, especially from Long Wharf over to Bridgeport. If you're driving southbound on 95, you're going to run into a little bit of that. Meanwhile, from Madison to Clinton by the outlets, Old Saybrook, and then out Route 9 up through Essex, Deep River, Chester, we're seeing some steadier than the rest snow. This is certainly manageable, but we are adding a little more to the accumulations for today. You could see the wind flow. That's your low right there. It's pushing out to sea. It will pivot around a little bit of snow shower activity as we continue to see winds out of the north. So watch as we go through the guidance. Again, it's more off than on, but the possibility does exist of a couple of scattered snowflakes here and there as we go through the afternoon and evening time hours. Temperature-wise, not high, not thawing, not soon. 14 in Hartford, 25 in New Haven, 17 degrees right now for our friends in Groton and New London. Look at the winds. Again, sustained winds 5 to 15. Wind gusts have backed off a little bit in the last hour, but they've still been getting to about 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. You put it all together, you get some small real feels out there. -1 in Torrington. You got a donut in Waterbury, 3 in Hartford, 5 in Groton. So wind chill is a factor. You can see that we've got them well under, well in single-digit territory for the next few hours. As we get into the lunchtime hour, we'll get into the mid to maybe upper teens, and that's as good as it will get later on this afternoon, and that's as good as it's going to get for the time being for the next few days. So bone chill and wind chills continue. You've got some scattered snowflakes in there through the off and on throughout the day, lingering, and the high temperatures only getting into the low, maybe the mid-20s. That's a problem because we should be in the mid-30s for your highs. I don't see the freezing mark anytime soon, which means what you have out there for snow is going to be out there for snow. We'll talk about that part of the story coming up. 6:03, let's do traffic right now, and I hope there aren't, we'll show you a couple of cameras, Erica. I can't imagine we're going to see many cars on those roads, which is a good thing.
Yeah, hopefully there aren't a lot of cars on the roads. That's not what we want to see. Maybe a few, that is really all, and here's one right there. This is 84 in Waterbury. You can see a good amount of blacktop. You can see the pavement creeping through, which is good news, and if you are heading out there, you want to stay on top of that pavement because that's going to be the least slick. You're going to get the most traction if you stay on that darker side right there. Let's take a look at the other views we have for you here. We've got Hartford, Fairfield, and New Haven. Unfortunately, not making out too much in New Haven. And fortunately, there's not a lot to see because there's not a ton of cars out there on the roads. Actually, there's a few more that we're seeing now in Hartford, so it looks like the volume is starting to build. We are in the 6 o'clock hour now. But again, we've said it all morning long, and the governor's really urging people to stay home. If you can work from home, please take that option. You just want to stay safe out there and let the roads be cleared a little bit more. If you are heading out, though, make sure you build in extra time to not just clear off your car, but to just take it slow out there and stay safe. And we are continuing our same coverage for you this morning into the storm's aftermath.
Yeah, Fox 61 is out on the roads to track the latest conditions and the cleanup efforts. Fox 61's Priscilla Meza is live riding around in her Fox 61 storm tracker. Good morning, Priscilla. Where are you now, and how are the roads looking in real time?
Yeah, good morning. We are in Newington right now. We just stopped by to put some gas here at the gas station, but we are in Newington. We got off the highway a little bit ago and we saw some of the back roads. Maybe you could see a little bit here, but the roads are honestly pretty clear of snow. The DOT crews have been doing a great job of moving all of the snow off of the roads, but still driving conditions are not ideal. People want to stay off of the roads right now and let the crews finish their jobs. But as of right now, the roads are still a little icy. Lanes are still hard to see. So definitely, if you have to be out on the roads, be careful and take it very slow. We were going about 40 miles an hour on the highway, and that's about as fast as you want to be going. We did see a few cars that were kind of stuck on the sides of the roads there. Not sure what happened, but problems can come up, especially during these driving conditions. So again, just take it slow and be careful. You want to be aware. You see a lot of crews out on the roads here plowing through the roads, and you want to be aware of that. Give them as much space as you possibly can if you see them coming behind you. But you shouldn't see any tractor trailers on the roads this morning because there is a commercial vehicle ban, so you should be good there. Now, I also want to share some information that came from AAA. They are reminding drivers, again, if you absolutely need to be on the roads, make sure you clear all of the snow and ice from your vehicles before heading out. So give yourself plenty of extra time before heading out. That means clearing your windows, lights, and even the roof so you can see and be seen by other drivers and prevent snow from blowing onto other cars and lowering their visibility. And they're also urging people to just slow down, as I mentioned, leave lots of extra following space and avoid cruise control. We're going to be checking back in with you. Hopefully we get going on the road soon here, pretty much soon. We'll check back to you in the studio.
All right, Priscilla, thanks. We'll check back and see where you are in just a little bit. And of course, we're continuing our team coverage for you this morning of the aftermath.
Fox 61 Symphony Privet is out in the elements in Hartford, and Symphony, earlier when we checked in with you, the winds were really whipping. Have they settled down at all, or are they still pretty intense?
Hey, good morning, Bridget and Erica. I would say it's still pretty windy out here. It's settled down just a tad, but it's not easier by any means to be outside right now. I'm going to step out of the frame. We are now on Church Street in downtown Hartford, where we are seeing crews hard at work this morning, continuing to clear up the snow that fell overnight and try to make a path for a couple of drivers that we've seen out and about so far. We've just seen someone load into a bus here. So as daylight starts to emerge later on this morning, we are starting to see folks venture out for the first time since all of that snow fell last night. And while we were setting up here, we managed to chat with one driver who told us, she had to be out in the elements. She doesn't have the day off. So it appears those people who are out and about now do have to head to work this morning. So here on Church Street, we're seeing people are waiting. Well, it looks like they're being turned away now, actually. So don't come on Church Street. It appears that they are closing this area off to clear off the snow. So if you normally rather travel through this area, it might be best to try to find an alternate route for the time being and allow the crews to do their work here. Now, while we were on Trumbull Street this morning, we did see a few people.
All right. Sounds like we just lost Symphony. We'll get back to her in a little bit.
But that's a good example of why you need to build in extra time. Yes. In these conditions with the roads like that, you don't know if you're going to run into a road that is closed. Mm-hmm. And then, you just don't want to be rushing, especially in those conditions, because the streets they're already slippery. Yeah. So again, please build in extra time. You just never know what you're going to experience out there on the roads, especially, or an accident in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not only you, it's the cars around you. Definitely make sure you're driving an all-wheel drive car. This is not the kind of weather for sedans.
If you can. Again, if you're in a sedan, if you know you don't have that traction, really push to stay home, work from home. It's better to be safe than sorry, for sure.
Good advice there.
And we're continuing our team coverage for you in the Elm City.
That's where we find Joe Monty. He is keeping us up to date with the current conditions there. Quite a bit of snow fell in the Elm City, Joe.
It did, yeah. Good morning, guys. Look, we've got plenty of snow on the ground here, and it's taking a break for a little while earlier. The wind kind of slowed down too. Now the wind picked up and the snow picked up again. It's still hitting me in the face, so I'm trying to keep my eyes open for you. But yeah, we got snow coming down right now. Conditions are still cold, and this snow is not going anywhere anytime soon. As Matt's mentioned before, these temperatures are going to be staying pretty cold for a little while, so the snow is going to be staying on the roads. And speaking of the roads, behind me is Sergeant Drive. If you take a look over there, we got some cars, some stragglers this early morning, trying to make it through the intersection there, and we're seeing people slip and slide coming around the corners a little too fast. Take those corners a little slower if you can, but just making it through this intersection here. There's a lot of snow in the road. Plows can't keep up. Snow's not melting, so be careful on the roads if you have to go anywhere. If you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. That's honestly the best recommendation for this type of weather, because it's not safe out there. Yesterday I was on the road prepping for this live shot, and I actually got stuck twice. So thank you to the two people that actually helped me get unstuck. One was actually a plow driver for the town. So I couldn't be more thankful for some of that help, but that's all the more reason to stay home. You also, during cold weather like this, you want to be careful because your car batteries are reduced down to like half the power that they should be. And starting the car, it takes a little longer. It's a little more work on the battery because the oil's thicker, so it's just harder to move those parts in your engine. And trying to crank the car during these cold temperatures, you'll just kill your battery. So all the more reason to stay home, stay inside, read a book, sit by the fire, do whatever you want to do, stay warm, or enjoy some of the snow. It's kind of difficult to make a snowman or have a snowball fight with some of this powdery snow, but some people paint the snow with like food coloring, which I've heard about, which is kind of cool. You put some food coloring in a bottle and you spray it on the ground. Other people do things like I'm about to do right now. Let me get my hood up. We're gonna make a snow angel. Are you ready? Oh, here we go. Nice and powdery. A little hard, honestly. The snow is a little kind of packed where I am right now. I don't know, not great. Maybe better in somebody else's yard. I don't know. I'm looking for Kayla Cade's snow pants too in here. I don't see them anywhere. Maybe we'll find some of those. Maybe Priscilla can come pick me up in the storm tracker. I don't know. It's kind of cold out here. Maybe a little help.
Oh,
send it back to you guys in the studio.
Morning.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, run back into the car, get warm, blast that heat on you.
We were teasing Kayla earlier.
Joe, A for effort on the snow angel.
He's been doing amazing all morning. But Kayla Kate said she doesn't have snow pants. So we were joking, saying we have to get her
I said, when's her birthday? We're going to get her some. You know what? Joe brings up a great point, though. He was stuck. These storms are really great because you see people coming out and helping.
Yes.
Because that happens all the time.
Yes.
And that is certainly a positive with this storm.
How many times do you hear me say that snow is an equal opportunity offender? We're all in this together.
Yes,
it does not matter
it does
where
bring
you
people
are.
together.
So yeah, absolutely. Joe also mentioned one thing that I think the kids are just maybe a little disappointed by. You really can't make snowmen and snowballs out of this.
Yes.
I was thinking about that.
As the day goes on, won't the snow get a little
well,
icier?
you saw Joe was a little compact, so yes, there's potential for that.
But it's just so cold out there, the temperature. I mean, not only did we get so much snow, it's just so cold.
I know the local.
It was a little bit warmer, a little bit more moisture, then it can pack it a little bit.
Yes, I don't know. In terms of removing and shoveling, I'll take the light stuff obviously any day of the week for the sake of my knees and your knees at home as well. But at the very least, the sledding will be in full force today, so the hills will be getting a lot of overtime.
That's true.
Maybe going faster than some of the cars should be.
Yes.
True. But you saw the chunky snow accumulated in New Haven, and that could turn to ice really easily.
So the problem is this, and that's why we said yesterday, even in the middle of the storm, which we almost never say, get out and shovel it if you can. Get your sidewalks, get your pathways, your driveways cleaned out, because once this settles in, we're done.
Well, I want to mention too, if you have a fire hydrant in your property or close by,
clean it off.
Just make sure you just shovel it out, because really the firefighters need to be able to see that if there's an emergency. So please just take the time to do that.
Storm drains as well. I mean, we're certainly not hoping for a fire anytime soon, obviously, but we want to make it as easy as possible for the water to go somewhere if it needs to go somewhere.
And don't strain resources in general. These emergency crews, they need to treat the roads. They don't need to be trying to get you.
Well, but that's it. And that's why we say, listen, leave it to the crews. We wanted essential people already only on the roads. We said yesterday, DoorDashers and Uber Eats drivers, not essential workers, unfortunately, no matter how important and necessary we think they are.
And very few were on the roads. It was hard to order order anything last night.
I mean, grab that box of mac and cheese. It's been in the back of your cabinet for a while.
Yeah.
That'll do.
I will say, thankfully, not a lot of power outages, so it wasn't like you were grabbing stuff out of the fridge and going, okay, let's cook everything,
Right.
which is fine. So
Right.
that was good. But yeah, this was a
Good
hunker
point.
down and stay in. It was on a Sunday, which we love, because a lot less folks were out on the roads. Obviously, no school. Look at these quite impressive snow totals. Over a foot through a good chunk of the state, Suffield, Middlebury, Shelton. Even the shoreline getting into the action with some very impressive numbers. 14.5 inches in Bridgeport, 17 in the Valley, Cheshire as well, and big winner at Simsbury. Ooh, 18 inches. That is a lot of snow to deal with. All right, winter storm warning still in effect for the inland counties. I suspect it will be dropped sooner rather than later. Temperatures are still struggling at 6:15. We've got numbers in the teens just about everywhere. 14, your magic number from Windsor Locks down to Hartford, Middletown down Route 9 as well, ESPN Farmington 2, East Haven as well. Temperatures a touch warmer, but nobody is near freezing, and I hate to say it, but nobody is going to be near freezing anytime soon, and so that is why we keep sounding the alarm of the weather impact alert. We're going to keep it very cold. The wind chills are going to keep it really brutal out there. The winds out of the north, 5 to 15 miles an hour. The wind gusts, not much in the last hour, but still enough to make those temperatures, those small temperatures, even smaller. You got a deuce in Putnam and Meriden as well, 3 in Hartford. You got 0 in Waterbury, couple you into minus readings, sub-zero temperatures. You're going to see them a lot. We have seen them a lot all weekend long. It hasn't gotten much better. Here are your winds, and again, not much in the way of wind, but they're still coming out of the northwest, which means that Arctic air that has really made some inroads across much of the nation continues to spill into New England. We do not see any relief in terms of that part of the weather story anytime soon. At the very least, yesterday the map north, south, east, and west was blazing blue. It is much lighter, much quieter now. We'll switch over to the live radar and we'll take you down to the Elm City. Long Wharf by IKEA, down by the taco trucks, down through West Haven, Milford, some light snow, but it is still there. If you're driving southbound on 95, you're going to run into that on the immediate shoreline. Let me expand the view. You can pick out with the rotation of the winds moving counterclockwise. That's where your low is as it pushes out to sea. Still looking for some decent snow. Interior sections of Maine from Bar Harbor back into vacation land, northern parts of New Hampshire and Vermont as well. We'll get a little bit of that pivoting down this way. And again, that may be good for a coating, maybe an inch. So we're just calling it a little more snow as we keep the weather impact alert going. Again, it's not for the snow anymore. It really is more of the cold temperatures, as we've been saying all morning. 211 is your friend. Warming centers are open just about everywhere as the state's severe weather cold protocol. Cold weather still in effect and will remain so. We will clear out the skies tonight. That means whatever heat we get in the duration of the day, it radiates out into space, so that's why we think tomorrow morning is going to be tough. I suspect there will be a number of delays. As always, the full list at fox61.com. Into tomorrow and Wednesday, really no significant changes to the forecast. We keep it relatively steady in that it is steady as she goes cold. So a little bit of snow out there for today, and then at the very least, the next few days are quiet. We'll get some sunshine, but under clear skies in the overnight. Look at these lows. 1 Thursday morning, 0 Friday morning, 1 Saturday morning. So the weather impact alert continues for the duration of the work week to account for those dangerously cold temperatures. Not much better on the shoreline, and even on the shore, we're not seeing anything near freezing. So this snow is here to stay for a while. It is 6:19 on a Monday where a lot of people are hunkering down still and home, working remote and not learning anything at school. That's not a bad thing on a day like today, Bridget.
And that's true, unless you're in New York City where they're doing remote learning today. The kids didn't even get a snow day,
They
man.
never
What's
get on snow days. They're hardy in the city. They're like,
Yeah.
listen, there's no buses. You just walk to your school, and the
True.
teachers will be waiting for you.
They close the school, but you have to still whip out the tablets. I don't like that for the kids. Well, we're taking a live look outside at Waterbury, where temperatures right now 20 degrees. degrees. That is below freezing, and that means all that white powder that you see on the roads there, that could likely freeze up, so be mindful of that. And you do want to, Erica's been saying this all morning, it's really good advice, drive along the pavement area, along the black that you're seeing that car do right there, because that's where you're going to get the most traction and you're less likely to slip and slide. Taking another live look, this is Hartford, Fairfield, and New Haven, where you see not too many cars out there, a little more volume up in Hartford. Just want to give yourselves plenty of space between you and the car in front of you. Just be mindful that the roads are slippery out there, and just stay off the roads if you don't need to be out there. Commercial traffic ban still in effect, so you're not going to see the cars and the semis out there. That's positive news. But you too, if you can stay home, definitely go for that option. And as a reminder, the state's cold weather protocol is active until Wednesday. Anyone in need of shelter or a warming center, 211 is there to help. Transportation can be provided as well.
6:20 now. Yesterday, 80% of flights at Bradley International Airport were canceled, and even before midnight, airlines already started to cancel flights scheduled to go out yesterday. We had a crew at the airport for most of the day. They talked with passengers whose flights were canceled and decided to spend the night there at the airport. Eliana Ojeda from Norwich says she was up all night Saturday. She was stressed and worried about her flight. She was trying to get back to Charleston, South Carolina. She was afraid it was going to be canceled. At one point Sunday afternoon, she was actually on a flight. She was on the plane, ready to take off, and that's when the flight attendant delivered the bad news. They said they needed to turn around.
No, I have a flight in at 8 a.m. and hopefully that stays. But I also have another flight booked. I booked 2 flights for tomorrow. We'll see which one holds up. And tonight is just hunker down. I have blankets, I have pillows, get comfy, and have snacks, and maybe watch some movies.
The frustration of being on the plane and then
So close.
it's not going to happen. Oh, wow. Well, Eliana says she hasn't heard from Breeze Airlines yet. She is hoping to get a voucher or a refund. She said she's booked on 2 flights for today, and she is aware that one or both of her flights might also be canceled, but I'm sure she's crossing her fingers. We are crossing our fingers for her as well. We did get an email recently from Bradley, said that 38% of flights today so far are canceled. So we will see as the morning progresses.
Yeah,
maybe
not
that will get
fun
better.
If you need somewhere to be, you're trying to get home and you just can't, but I'm sure it'll happen sooner rather than later. And we do want to talk about something fun that Erica and I did over the weekend. On Friday, we dropped the puck at the Hartford Wolfpack game.
We did. It was a first for the both of us, a really cool experience. Really felt honored to be able to do that.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was a great night, great game.
Yes, it was.
Goals early on.
Yes.
Yeah, so
and
it
it
was
was a lot
exciting.
of back and forth, too, which I like to see. A lot of action.
Yeah, it was country night, so there was like cowboy hat giveaways and other giveaways, and we had a booth there. We were giving away some swag, and it was great to meet all the people.
So many people
Loyal
stopped
viewers
by.
who came by and said hi,
And
took
that they
some
watch
pictures.
every morning.
Yeah.
They're up with us at the crack of dawn. We appreciate that. Took some pictures of a few
Yeah.
of them. That was a good time
It
for
was
sure.
good.
And Erica, you told me after the fact you learned we were supposed to drop it a little lower.
Yeah, I didn't get that permit. We're supposed to get a little lower, squat down.
Oh, we didn't know. No
I
one
think we're just
told us.
overwhelmed, you know?
I know. It was a lot going on.
It was a big thing.
Yes.
It was exciting.
It was super fun. And
Yeah.
we did it in unison, too.
We
So
did.
That was pretty
yeah.
cool.
We
And
timed it
high-fived.
3, 2, 1, then we
Yes.
high-fived. Yeah. It was a great
Proud of
game,
that.
though.
It was.
Wolfpack won 3-2, couple goals early on.
Yeah.
And then
That fight broke out, too.
Third goal for the Wolfpack was open goal.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to go back. That was a fun time, to say the least. And we're staying with the weather and the impacts on the roads. Let's take a live look right now on Interstate 84. This is in Manchester, where you can see snow-covered roads there. No cars in the right side
That's
of
good.
the lanes. Yeah, great. Some travelers on the left side, but they are taking it slow. That's the way to be because it is very slick. It's going to get icier, by the way, as the morning goes on. As temperatures continue to dip, we are in the 20s, and we're going to have another look at the impacts. We have crews stationed across the state, so we will check in with them after that. Stay with us.